to make your own patterns, get you some of this little tape. Okay, they use it for whiteboards in schools. It's really freaking cheap. Comes in a bunch of colors. You want the thin stuff. I like the super thin stuff because it's more, I don't know, it's easier to manipulate. So people are like, oh, how do you drape stuff and then make a pattern out of it? And this is what I do. So let's say I have an idea and I want a one-piece bodysuit. Okay, I will start here where I want the top of the bikini, and I roll this, and let's say I want it to maybe come to like a teardrop effect just below the belly button. Gotta watch the turns, it's okay, because it is stretched fabric. And you can kind of manipulate it. Okay, this is not going to be perfect because I'm talking and doing this at the same time. Okay, because you're going to know how this is going to lay. All right, and it just snaps off. All right, and let's say you want it to come here. You don't want any side boob. And say you want it to come out like that. Just as an example, I'm freehanding this. This is not pre-planned. Okay, and the reality of it all is once you get to the next step of this, you're gonna fold your pattern in half because this is not completely symmetrical. Okay. So it's like, oh, wait a minute, that's starting to look like a romper or whatever. Let's say you want it to have booty shorts. Okay. All right, there you go. Okay. And let's say you want them, I don't know, 2 inches wide on the side. There you go. And try to eye it the same on the other side just to get a visual. Okay. Okay. So you're not actually going to attach the booty shorts. So what I do is I bust that loose. Snap it there. Okay, now it's all like one piece, right? Okay. And for fabric marking purposes, if you're going to have a tie, where would it be? Okay, so when you make your pattern, you want to know where, right? So these go under the breast so that it lifts them up, right? Okay. So that's where you would make a notation on your pattern that you're gonna drape up. Okay, so let's say you got this whole thing done front and back, you're ready to go. Let's do the back. Okay, so let's say I'm attaching this to the side, little strap in the front, and let's say you want it to be kind of a thong look to the booty shorts. Okay. Okay. And the top. Okay. Not so bad. Okay. There you go. Now, what do you do from here? Okay. You get you some cheap see-through muslin or some stretch jersey in a freaking light color like ecru. It's cheap. It's usually on a couple of dollars a freaking yard. All right. Okay. And if you don't like anything about it, you can always break it off and kind of re-drape it if you don't like the way that it's, and you know, this is an actual rib on her. So, okay. But you can make it more symmetrical however you want to do it. Okay. So then you will actually take the fabric, okay, and you will tape it up to your mannequin or pin it, whatever you want to do. And you use this dark line to trace your pattern onto the fabric that you lay over it. And then you will have a pattern, a draped pattern that you've traced, and then you can cut it out. All right. And then what you do when you cut it out, you want to check it for symmetry. To make sure everything looks right here. What you would probably want to do here is you would actually want to fold it in half so that you have these two, one on top of the other. Make sure they look exactly the same. Same with the sides of the shorts. Same with the thong in the back, because you fold it one on top of another when you're making a pattern to make sure everything is symmetrical. All right. Once you have your pattern cut out of your cheap fabric, then you want to baste it together under the sewing machine and then throw it back up on your mannequin for fit. And when you baste it together, you're not going to put any elastic or anything like that onto it, because you may actually have to, you want to make sure that you've got a pattern out of that. Okay. So it's going to be gappy here. It's going to be a little gappy here. It's probably going to be very gappy here, but when you add fold over elastic or braided elastic, or if you're using a cover stitch machine and you're laying over trim or binding to it, it's going to take up for the gappiness. Okay. It's going to fix that. All right. She's long torsoed. I like working with this mannequin with Inga. She's been with me for, I don't know, 20 friggin' years. The reason why I like working with a longer torso mannequin is because when you are draping or you're pattern making, the longer torso will actually come in handy, because when you do add elastic to it, it's going to draw it up a little bit. All right, there you go.